video about artificial intelligence is about to commence. Please brace yourself. Let's talk about artificial intelligence and the dangers it poses. It's something that's becoming more and more a part of our everyday lives. From voice assistants to self-driving cars, AI is quickly taking over. But with this rapid development comes a lot of potential for harm. Now, before we go deeper into this, if you enjoy discussions on the future of technology, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content. You know, AI is already shaping the way we interact with the world, so it's crucial we take a good look at its dangers. Where do we begin? Well, first off, one of the biggest risks of AI is its lack of accountability. What happens when a machine makes a mistake? Who is responsible? We can't exactly hold a program accountable the way we hold people accountable. If an AI system mismanages a situation, how do we trace it back to who made the decision? These systems, with their seemingly infinite potential, can slip out of control very quickly. A mistake could cost lives. It's a bit unnerving to think about. But before I get too far into that, have you ever tried butter popcorn? You know, the kind that's perfectly coated with that rich, salty, buttery goodness. It's probably the first flavor that comes to mind when you think about popcorn. It's classic. The perfect crunch with that smooth texture, it just works. Like and subscribe. But anyway, back to it. The problem is, AI doesn't have morals. It's just a set of algorithms programmed to execute specific tasks. But what happens when those tasks involve human lives? What happens when AI is tasked with making ethical decisions? An AI might make decisions based on data, but it doesn't have empathy. It doesn't understand the nuance of human emotion. This could lead to catastrophic errors if AI is given too much authority in sensitive areas like healthcare, criminal justice, or military operations. AI could execute decisions that appear logical but lack humanity and compassion. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Speaking of difficult decisions, have you ever had to choose between cheddar popcorn and butter popcorn? It's a battle. Cheddar has this sharp, tangy flavor that lingers on your taste buds. It's bold, it's cheesy, it's unforgettable. But the real question is, does it beat butter popcorn? It's such a hard decision. Honestly, maybe I'm overthinking it. Or maybe it's the complexity of these flavor decisions that reflects the complexity of AI itself. You know, making those small choices in life that can seem so simple but have real consequences. Smash that like button and subscribe. But back to AI's real threat: lack of regulation. With all the advancements in AI, there's a growing concern about the lack of proper laws and regulations governing how AI is used. Right now, there are barely any rules in place that prevent AI from being developed or used in harmful ways. Imagine an AI system that's designed to take over financial systems, but lacks proper checks. It could destabilize entire economies without us ever realizing what's happening until it's too late. Or imagine an AI that manipulates data to control elections. The possibilities for abuse are endless. If we don't set up proper regulations to keep these technologies in check, it's kind of like trying to choose between kettle corn and cheddar popcorn. Kettle corn, with its sweet and salty perfection, is an absolute winner in some situations. But choosing kettle corn, especially when faced with cheddar, feels like you're walking a fine line between sweet bliss and savory indulgence. These kinds of decisions, the ones that feel simple but really carry consequences, are what we need to be cautious about when thinking of AI and its future. The next danger is AI in warfare. We've already seen the increasing use of drones in military operations, and they're controlled by AI systems. But what happens when AI takes over more than just drones? What if AI is responsible for launching missiles or making life or death decisions in combat? This is a serious problem. In the wrong hands, AI could be used to wage war in a way that is far more dangerous than any human conflict. We're talking about machines that are faster, smarter, and have the potential to think on their own without the moral compass that humans have. If AI makes the wrong call in a military context, it could have devastating consequences. Which brings us back to butter popcorn. There's just something so satisfying about it. When you're faced with a tough decision, like the ones we're talking about with AI, sometimes the comfort of something simple and familiar, like buttered popcorn, is what you crave. But the question is, how far can we push these AI systems before we lose that simple, familiar comfort? Just as butter popcorn always satisfies, we have to remember that we need to take care of the basics before we dive into more complex and potentially dangerous decisions. Another risk of AI that we need to think about is job displacement. AI is great at automating tasks, and this means that a lot of jobs we rely on could be taken over by machines. Take self-checkout machines in grocery stores, for example. They're convenient, but they also mean fewer human cashiers, and this is just the beginning. What happens when AI advances to the point where it can do everything from driving trucks to performing surgeries? Millions of jobs could be lost, and we need to think about how society will adapt to that reality. By the way, have you ever really thought about caramel popcorn? It's another flavor that's both sweet and savory, but there's this richness to it that's just so addictive. The sweetness of caramel, mixed with that salty popcorn crunch, is like magic in every bite. But how do you choose between this and the other flavors? It's like AI, so many options, so many possibilities, and it can all become overwhelming. You think caramel popcorn is the answer, but then butter calls to you, and you wonder, is this what it's all about? Back to AI and the future of work. What happens when AI does take over the majority of jobs? How will people survive? The economic disparity between those who own AI technology and those who don't could widen drastically. If we're not careful, we could find ourselves in a world where a few tech giants control everything, and the majority of people are left without work. That's a future we need to avoid at all costs. And it all starts with making sure we regulate AI development and ensure it's used for the benefit of everyone, not just the few. And finally, let's wrap this up with one more popcorn dilemma. Flavored popcorn, you know, the ones with all sorts of crazy spices, like ranch or even buffalo wing flavor. Now, that's something you have to be careful with. It's bold, it's different, and sometimes it's just not what you were expecting. But sometimes it's exactly what you need. Just like with AI, there's the potential for unexpected consequences when we step into new territories. Whether it's the technology we're developing or the strange flavors we experiment with, we always have to be mindful of what we're getting ourselves into. So, to wrap things up, AI is incredibly powerful, but without proper regulation, accountability, and ethical considerations, it can pose significant dangers to society. We need to ensure that AI is developed with care and caution, because if we don't, we might end up with a future that we're not prepared for. So, next time you're deciding between butter, cheddar, or caramel popcorn, remember, sometimes the simplest choices are the best. But when it comes to technology, we can't afford to be that casual. Every decision we make now has the potential to shape the future. Don't forget to like this video if you found the discussion helpful. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes about AI technology and much more.